How did you get into WWF in '95 with Vince? Did Vince know who you were? And
Yeah,
how did that go?
oh, yeah. Vince knew who it was. Well, first of all, they were. I went to the front door and I bought a ticket to the building, and then I went to the back and said, "Hey, I want to see Vince." No, that's a joke. No, no. I used to, of course, like everybody else, because that was the time in the cycle of wrestling that it died for most people, for
Yep.
most performers. It died late 80s, early 90s because you really only had two groups running, well, maybe three if you figure in ECW. You had WWF and WCW and ECW. That's what you had running. So unless you worked for them on a regular basis, you couldn't say you were making a livelihood in the wrestling business. So with all those places to work or to gain employment gone, you, your choices were limited. So I used to call WWE quite often. And I went to Puerto Rico in '95, and I came home for Christmas. And when I was home, I just, because I made these calls like, it was almost every 2 or 3 weeks. And it got so many, I called so many times, I forgot what the receptionist's name was. She knew my voice. So I'd call up
Wow.
and she'd say WWE or WWF. And I say, "Hey, is Vince in?" "Hi, Dutch. How are you doing?" She knew me. And then, of course, she'd always say, and she'd kind of laugh because she knew I knew the drill. "Oh, he's not available right now, blah, 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 blah." So, but I forgot. I don't know how I got through to him, but I think I asked for JJ Dillon one time. She said, "Oh, yeah, JJ's in." So I got him on the phone. I said, "Wow, this is the deepest I've been ever." So, and I said, "Hey, JJ," and I had heard that Ron and Don Harris were going to WWF. And, their talking is not their strong point. So I got him on the phone. I said, "Hey, I got an idea for you." "What?" I said, "Why don't you let me manage those guys and bring us in as a group?" And he thought about it. He said, "That's not a bad idea." He said, "Well, let me send it to the old man," which meant Vince. I said, "Okay." He called me back 30 minutes later. He said, "Vince, love the idea. You start on such and such a date." I thought he was friggin' ribbon. I said, "What? Start when?" And he'd give me a date, which should be a lesson to everybody. Don't call anybody up and say, "Can you use me?" Have an idea for them to use you. So I had an idea, put me with the Harris boys, let me manage them. Okay, now they're not thinking of it. Now, when they think about that, that's the way they're thinking of it, and it's easier to put together. So, for anybody who wants WWE to use them, give them an idea. But when you give them the idea, make them think that it's their idea to begin with and take it from there. And that's what I did. So that's how I got there. And then this
Amazing.
is
It
this
was
is how
quick.
and this is how I got. Oh yeah, he called me. I couldn't believe it. So I worked there about, I don't know, 8 or 9 months, and Don Harris, he's the older twin. So Don's the oldest. I mean, Ron's the oldest, but Don's the meanest. Somebody asked me one time, "Who's the meaner of the twins?" I say, "Hell, it's Donnie, I have to kill you." Ronnie's like the thinker of the bunch, you know,
Yep.
and he's a little more intellectual.
Yep.
But anyway, Ronnie got upset about something, the way they were using him or whatever, and he just up one night at Monday Night Raw. I forgot where it was. I think it was somewhere in New York, and he just left. And I was going back to maybe New Jersey with Donnie in the car, and I said, "Where's Ron?" He said, well, he quit. I went, what? He quit? He said, yeah, you didn't know? I said, no, I didn't know. He didn't tell me. So then I think Donnie quit the next week. So I'm sitting there without anybody. I mean, they were kind of paying me a little bit, but that's when the contracts were all messed up. And nobody was making money then because WCW was kicking butt. And so that's how I got with Bradshaw. I went to TV one night, and I'm sitting there, and Bradshaw came in, and he was going to make his audition appearance. And I got to talking to him, and I said, hey, why don't you let me walk you to the ring tonight to see how he feels? He said, oh, it's fine by me. So I forgot who came in. I think Bruce Pritchard came in, or I think it was Bruce. I said, Bruce, is it okay if I went with Bradshaw to the ring tonight? He said, go ahead, pal. So I went to the ring. They liked it. And then I ended up with Bradshaw for another year. So that's how it started. There was no big plans behind it or anything. It was just one of those things that organically happened because it was there, and that's how it came about.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Hannibal TV.